Good morning, everyone. Today's topic is forces on immersed plane placed vertical and inclined positions. That is, if you have a plate or a plane which is immersed in a liquid in vertical position or in inclined position, what is the net force that is acting on such a plane? That is what we are going to learn today. So before going into the topic, we need to know two terms, total pressure and center of pressure. So total pressure is defined as the force exerted by a static fluid on a surface, either plane or curved, when the fluid comes in contact with the surface. That is, you have a solid body or a solid surface and you are immersing it in a static fluid, in a non-moving fluid. Then what is the total force that is acting on the plate or the body, and that force is called total pressure. So total pressure, you should not confuse it. Though we call it as total pressure, it is not pressure, it is the force. So to be clear, you can call it as the total pressure force. Okay, so total pressure force is defined as the force exerted by a static fluid on a surface, either plane or curved, when the fluid comes in contact with the surface. And this force will always act perpendicular to the surface. And center of pressure is defined as the point of application of the total pressure on the surface. So where this total pressure acts, that point is known as the center of pressure. So I hope these 2 points or the two terms are clear. One is total pressure, and total pressure, it is a force, that is the force exerted by a static fluid on a body which is immersed in the fluid. That is total pressure force, and center of pressure is the point of application of the total pressure force. Now in today's class we will be analyzing four different cases. What are the four cases? First one is vertical plane surface submerged in a liquid. That is, you are immersing a plane surface vertically into a liquid. Second case is the plane surface is immersed horizontally. Third is the plane surface is immersed at an inclination or inclined plane surface, and the fourth case is curved surface. Okay, so these are the four cases that we are analyzing today. We'll go to the first one, vertical plane surface submerged in liquid. So consider a plain vertical surface of arbitrary shape immersed in a liquid as shown in figure. So see the figure. You have a vertical surface which is vertically immersed in a liquid. It does not have a definite shape. It is having an arbitrary shape. It is immersed in liquid as shown in the figure. This is the free surface of the liquid, and this plate is immersed vertically in the liquid. Now there are certain markings that are given in the figure. We'll see one by one. First one, let A be the total area of the surface. So this is the surface and capital A is the total area of the surface. Now H bar is the distance of the center of gravity of the area from the free liquid surface. So this is the area under consideration, and point G is the center of gravity of the area, and H bar is the distance of the center of gravity from the free liquid surface. Capital G is the center of gravity of the area. Capital P is the center of pressure. What is center of pressure? It is the point of application of the total pressure force. And H star is the distance of the center of pressure from the free liquid surface. So H star is the distance of the center of pressure from the free liquid surface. What was H bar? H bar is the distance of the center of gravity from the free liquid surface, and H star is the distance of the center of pressure from the free liquid surface. Now, first we'll find out the total pressure. Total pressure on the surface may be determined by dividing the entire surface into a number of small parallel strips. So in order to find out the total pressure, first we will divide the entire area into small parallel strips, and force on small strips is then calculated, and the total pressure force on the whole area is calculated by integrating the force on the small strip. Okay, so see the figure. First, we will consider a single strip. and then we will find out the force acting on this single strip, and then that force we will integrate to the total area in order to find out the total pressure force. Okay, so for that, consider a strip of thickness dh and width b at a depth h from the free liquid surface as shown in figure. So understand this step very clearly. You are considering a small strip, and the strip is having a depth dh. Dh is the depth of the strip and b is the width of the strip. And this strip is it's located at a depth of h from the free liquid surface. Okay, so you have three h here: h bar, h star, and h. Now, the pressure intensity on the strip. Since the strip is located at a distance h, what will be the pressure intensity on the strip? P will be equal to rho gh, because the strip is having a height of small h above it. Height of liquid small h above it. So, the pressure intensity on the strip will be equal to rho gh. That is what is written here. P is equal to rho gh. Now what is the area of the strip? As we know, dh is the depth of the strip and b is the width of the strip. You can take this as a rectangular strip. So the area dA, why we are calling it as dA? Because it is a small area of the total area. So dA is equal to b into dh. Now the total pressure force on the strip is equal to, here we have found out the pressure, from that we are finding out the force. Force is equal to pressure into area. So pressure is rho gh into area is bdh. So the total pressure force on the strip alone, df, is equal to rho gh into bdh. So how, from this, how will you find out the total pressure force on the whole surface? We have already told you that in order to find out the total pressure force on the entire area, first we will find out the pressure force on the strip and then we will integrate it for the whole area. So total pressure force on the whole surface will be equal to F is equal to integral dF. dF is the force on the small area. We are integrating it to find out the total pressure force. So F is equal to integral dF. So which is equal to integral, what is dF? Rho gh into bdh. So rho gh into bdh, which is equal to rho g are constant, taking it out, rho g into integral bh dh. Now we will take that integral bh dh alone. So integral bh dh is equal to integral h dA. How do you get it? B into dh is equal to dA. We have already written it. dA is equal to b dh. So this is equal to integral h dA. Now what is this integral h dA? It is the moment of the surface area about the free liquid surface. Surface area is dA. Its moment about the free liquid surface. Free liquid surface is at a height h from dA. So HDA is the moment of the strip, area of the strip about the free liquid surface, and integral HDA is the moment of the total surface area about the free surface of liquid. That is again equal to area of the surface into distance of Cg from the surface. Okay, so moment of the surface area about the free liquid surface is equal to area of the surface into distance of Cg from the surface. Area of the surface, as we know, it is capital A, and distance of Cg from the surface is h bar. So that is equal to AH bar, or in other words you can say integral BH DH is equal to AH bar. So substituting that in this equation will become F is equal to rho G into AH bar. That is, this integral BH DH is converted into AH bar. So total pressure force F is equal to rho G AH bar. So this is another important relation. You have to learn it. F is equal to rho G AH bar. So what is this F here? It is the total pressure force acting on a plate which is immersed vertically in a liquid. Rho is the density of the liquid, G is the acceleration due to gravity, A is the total area of the plane, and H bar is the distance of the center of gravity of the plate from the free liquid surface. Now you have to find out the equation for the center of pressure. Center of pressure is calculated by using the principle of moments. What is the principle of moments state? It states that the moment of the resultant force about an axis is equal to the sum of the moments of the components about the same axis. Okay, so a resultant force is formed because of a combination of individual or component forces. So the moment of the resultant force about any axis will be equal to the sum of the moments of the component forces about the same axis. So principle of moments, you have already learned it in the first year. The resultant F is acting at P. F, as we know, it is the total pressure force, and P is the center of pressure. So the resultant F is acting at P, which is at a distance h star from the free surface of the liquid as shown in the figure. Moment of the force F about the free liquid surface is F into h star. It is very clear. Force is F and the distance from the free liquid surface is h star. So the moment of the force F about the free liquid surface is F into h star. You please mark this equation as equation number 1. Now, the moment of dF acting on a strip about the free liquid surface. So, first we have written the equation for the moment of the total force F about the free liquid surface. Now we are writing the moment of dF. What is this dF? dF is the force acting on the strip alone. So dF, moment of dF acting on the strip about the free liquid surface is dF into h. dF is the force on the strip and h is the distance of the strip from the free liquid surface. So dF equation we have already written. dF is rho gh bdh. So rho gh bdh into h. Now sum of moments of all such forces. So this is the moment of a single strip on a single strip. So sum of the moments of all such forces will be integral of that. That is integral rho gh bdh into h. Rho g being constant, you can take it out. Rho g into integral bh into h dh. So rho g into integral b h square dh, or rho g into integral h square b. What is b dh? b dh is nothing but dA. So from this we are taking this integral h square dA alone here. Integral h square dA is equal to integral b h square dh. It is the same equation, bh square ds. So integral bh square ds is nothing but the moment of inertia of the surface about moment of inertia of the surface about free surface of the liquid. So this integral bh square dh is the moment of inertia of the total surface about the free liquid surface, or in other words, you can write it as I naught. Moment of inertia, you have already learned it in the previous semester. So this can be marked as I naught. Integral h square dA is nothing but I naught. So how will this equation turn out to be? It is nothing but the sum of the moments of all such forces about the free liquid surface, rho g into integral h square dA, and this integral h square dA is I naught. So sum of the moments will be equal to rho g into I naught. That is what is written here. Sum of the moments about the free liquid surface is rho g into I naught. You can mark this as equation number 2. Now we have already marked the moment of the total force as equation number 1, and this is equation number 2. So here you have to write equating 1 and 2. Equating equations 1 and 2, we get F h star is equal to rho g into I naught, or F is equal to rho g A h bar. So F is rho g A h bar. You are substituting that value of F here. So rho g A h bar into h star is equal to rho g into I naught. What are we aiming at? We are aiming at finding out a equation for h star. What is h star? H star is the position of the center of pressure from the free liquid surface. So h star will be equal to rho g I naught divided by rho g A h bar. Rho g and rho g can be cancelled, and h star is equal to I naught by A h bar. Okay, now we are writing an equation for this I naught. I naught you have already studied. What is I naught by the theorem of parallel axis? We know that I naught is equal to Ig plus AH bar square, where Ig is the moment of inertia of area about an axis passing through the CG of the area and parallel to the free liquid surface. So I naught is equal to Ig plus AH bar square. So you can substitute this in the previous equation. Which is the previous equation? H star is equal to I naught by AH bar. Here you can give the substitution for I naught. So H star is equal to I naught. Instead of I naught, you can give this equation Ig plus AH bar square divided by AH bar, which is equal to Ig by AH bar plus H bar. So H star, equation for finding out the center of pressure. H star is equal to Ig by AH bar plus H bar. Here make a correction, substituting, it is not Ig, it is I naught. Substituting I naught. So final equation is H star is equal to Ig by AH bar plus H bar. So this is the equation for finding out the center of pressure. Okay, so what we have learned just now is the location of the center of pressure and the total pressure force for a vertical plane surface submerged in liquid. So I have told you already that there are four cases. First one is the vertical plane surface submerged in liquid, and the next case is horizontal plane surface submerged in liquid. Here we are learning only the equations. The total pressure force will be equal to rho g ah bar. F is equal to rho g ah bar, and location of the center of pressure H star is equal to H. What is H? H is the total depth of the liquid. Okay, so two equations. F is equal to rho g ah bar. It is similar to the previous case itself, and the depth of the center of pressure will be equal to the depth of the liquid itself, H. And we are going to the next case, inclined plane surface submerged in liquid. So here the total pressure force is equal to the previous two cases. Total pressure force is equal to rho g ah bar, and H star is the center of pressure, will be, which is equal to Ig sine square theta by ah bar plus H bar. So for the vertical for the first case, vertical case, H star equation was Ig by AH bar plus H bar, but here for inclined plane surface, H star is equal to Ig sine square theta by AH bar plus H bar, where theta is the inclination of the inclined plane. So if theta is equal to 90, what does it mean? If theta is equal to 90, the plate will be vertical. So the equation will be H star is equal to Ig by AH bar plus H bar. Now the next case is curved surface submerged in liquid. So curved surface, for curved surface the equation of force is different. F is equal to root of Fx square plus Fy square. What is Fx? Fx is the total force in the x direction and Fy is the total force in the y direction, and the equations are Fx is equal to rho g into integral h dA sin theta and Fy is equal to rho g into integral h dA cos theta. So for the time being you need to know only the equations, and we will learn it in detail, the different terms and how to find out Fx and Fy when we do the numerical problems. Next, we are moving on to the last topic of the first module, practical application of total pressure. So we have already learned what total pressure is and what center of pressure is and how they are found out. Now coming to the practical application. So spillway gates is one of the practical applications of total pressure. There are many applications for total pressure, but in our syllabus we need to learn about spillway gate. So I hope all of you are aware about what a spillway gate is. What a spillway is: spillway is a structure used to provide the controlled release of flow from a dam or a levee into downstream area, typically the riverbed of the dammed river itself. So spillway is nothing but the construction or structure that is provided to let the excess water to flow over to the downstream side in a dam. Levee is also a construction which is used to prevent the flow of water, and that can be used for controlling the flow of water to the downstream side. So during flood and all, you might have heard that the shutter is risen by 0.5 meter, like that you have heard, no? So that shutter is the spillway gate. So while you design a spillway gate, it is very important to know the amount of force that will be acting on the spillway. For the proper working of the spillway gate, we need to identify the total force, that is the total pressure force, and also the center of pressure or the location point where the force acts. So in that, the application of total pressure comes. Spillways ensure that the water does not overflow or damage or destroy the dam. So these spillway gates should be designed in such a way that the water does not overflow and damage or destroy the dam. Gate structures in the closed position could be exposed to a variety of loads, including hydrostatic pressure, seismic load resulting in hydrodynamic pressure, and in the case of surface spillway gates, ice loads and waves from the reservoir. Which means when a spillway gate is designed, we need to consider all the forces that are likely to come on the spillway gate. In our chapter, we are dealing about the hydrostatic pressure. There are many other loads that are coming on the spillway gate, like the seismic load, hydrodynamic pressure, ice load, wave from reservoir. All these forces also come on the spillway gate, but we are concerned in this chapter, we are concerned about the hydrostatic pressure alone, and we have found out the equation for finding out the hydrostatic pressure. Also, several other loads are developed during the gate operation, including vibration. So, in addition to hydrostatic force, there are many forces that are acting on the gate structure, and we need to consider all these forces while we design a gate structure. So, this is a figure that shows the spillway gate. This is the reservoir, and this is the dam structure. This is the upstream side and this is the downstream side. I hope you know what it is. The water flows from upstream to downstream. So the in between a dam is constructed and it forms a reservoir here, and here a spillway gate is provided. So this water which is stored behind the dam will be exerting a force on the spillway gate, and we have found out the equation for finding out the force that is coming on to the spillway gate. So this spillway gate is operated to let the water from the reservoir flow downwards safely, and this is the actual photograph of a spillway gate. So this in the side you can see the arrangement for opening the spillway gate. So with this, we are coming to the end of the first module. So when you write the practical application of spillway gate, you please find in YouTube the working of a spillway gate, and also you should write some more applications of the total pressure. That will give you more awareness about the practical applications of this portion.